Welcome to SpeakEasy Conversations. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing great, Greg. How about yourself?
I saw you jamming there.
I was
bringing out.
I love that.
Bringing out the old dance, Doug. That's wonderful.
Yep.
What's not going to bring out the old dance, Doug, unfortunately, because you can't have this yet, but I will send you some Brewery Nonic. Now look at this, man. Look how simple this is. It's so simple, and then they just slap on the, what it is, but they keep it simple and stupid. I mean, that's why I like it.
Yeah, simple can be fine on can art. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just got to be good.
No, and well, this beer is excellent. This is their black lager at 4.6, canned, I believe, 511. This is the one, if y'all remember, if y'all follow Badger Beer Report, this is the one that I bought, and then it blew up in my car, and then I went and got another one. So this is an excellent beer. Brewery Nonic is just amazing. So cheers to y'all.
Cheers to you, sir. So I am also going to go with described as a dark lager. This is from Zero Day Brewing out of Harrisburg. My wife and I went there. So this one's 5%. So also, this is relatively simple too, but the 0 day with the flying through. We
didn't do this. Really, sorry.
I was going to say it's just simple like yours. That's all.
Yeah, and we didn't do this on purpose, but we both got black lagers here. So good times. I mean, we both love a good black lager too. I mean, how can you not, y'all?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of it's one of those styles that I think we both agree is. I think I've seen more of them recently than usual. Usually the dark and black lagers are kind of, maybe you see some Schwartz beers. I've seen more of those, which kind of this is an American dark lager, so I don't think it qualifies as Schwartz beer. But yeah, so and Daniel had this one last week. So cheers to you, sir. Yeah. But I sent him some.
Yeah, I got to do that too.
So that is nice, roasty, toasty, but really smooth. Super drinkable at 5%. Very good. So cheers to you, sir. And your black lager.
Mm-hmm. Cheers. Doug, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we formerly had Terry Rostick and Jamal, and unfortunately Jamal's last name is escaping me, from the owners and brewers at Black Calder Brewing, are partnering with Angry Orchard to make this Grandma's Secret, basically take on sweet potato pie as a beer.
You mean, is it a beer or is it a cider? It's a cider, right?
I think it's got to be a cider, right? Because I can't see that being a beer, but maybe I'm wrong. But just the idea that this is pretty cool.
I'm sorry. It says hard cider collab there, Doug.
Okay, thank you for reading that, as my glasses weren't doing that. And
no. But no. Keep going. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying I'm super intrigued by this. I'm wondering if this is something that will have a Barrel and Flow, because Angry Orchard is at Barrel and Flow every year, and they always have a collab. I wonder if they're releasing it earlier. I feel like probably not, but this is still an interesting collab to do with Black Calder, so good for them. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. My only question about this one, Doug. Shout out to Black Calder. Love everything they do. We support them 150,000%. The only thing I'm weird, I wouldn't say weirded out. I'm just questioning the timing on a pumpkin kind of thing. So, hopefully
Yeah.
it hits well. Obviously it's a cider, so Angry Orchard does these ciders things all year round. That's their thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I absolutely want to try this. Don't get me wrong. I'm a pumpkin person. I'm just saying, debuting something pumpkin in the spring is interesting. That's all I got. So,
Yeah.
and that's how you break trends.
Yeah, and also to have like Black Calder be able to collab with such a big player in the marketplace is awesome for them. So good for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. That aside, of course, not aside, but that's important. And Angry Orchard, they have they did the collab with Dope, I believe, right? Dope cider. So,
yes.
they are
last year.
very supportive. They are very, very supportive of Black owned liquor entities. How about that?
For sure.
So good times on that. All right, Doug. And lastly but not leastly, we have on Monday, we have Angie's going to be having a past guest. Not only is Angie a past guest, Lou is a past guest. So that should be fun. That's on May 19th, y'all. That's Monday. And you see the times there, and you see where you can get that. And yeah, check it out.
For sure.
Check it out. All right, Doug. Well, without further ado, we should get into our to our guest here. I have a short write up about her, and then I'll let you introduce her after you say some words. If that's cool, Doug. Our friend Jen Mann is a New York Times best-selling author, Doug. You already know. Known for her candid and relatable takes on motherhood and everyday life. Her writing include People I Want to Throw Punch. Man, does that
that's a vibe all there right now, right?
Does that just not age well? Does not age well.
That's an evergreen title, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, I was just looking, Doug. Throw Punch came out. I think it looks like the last one, or no, not the last one, but one of them came out in like 2014. I'm seeing 2015. So this is 10 years old. I mean, these are things that have been going on for a while, put it that way. And just how that whole phrase, Doug, again, has aged so well. You gotta give props for that. I mean, it's just amazing. But we'll get into all that. But her writing includes People I Want to Throw Punch. It's characterized by witty and honest and laugh out loud humor, resonating with a wide audience for many reasons. Through her books and active online presence, she's a wife and a mother whose experiences inspire her to her popular and relatable content. Doug, can you say this? Can you introduce her in less of an AI way?
Less of an AI way? Yeah, because, Anyway, Jen, I had the good fortune of following and becoming friends with on Facebook a number of years ago, back in the Dad 2.0 days, back when that was still a thing. So I don't think she was ever at Dad 2.0, but I think I kind of tangentially became aware of her through all that because Mom 2.0 and all those. I mean, there's just a lot of that sort of intermingling stuff. So just hilarious. I can't explain how funny Jen is. I mean, we had her on the Mother's Day show last year, and that was just a riot. And
we couldn't schedule conflicts this year, y'all. So we got it now. So
so and I'm thankful for that. So let's bring on Jen. Welcome, Jen.
Hi guys. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Great. Doug?
Yeah. Are you drinking anything, even if it's tea or water or whatever?
Yeah, I know. Usually it's my tea, right? Today I remembered that you guys like to booze it up, so I got my my rum and Coke going on.
Hey.
But it's my cup that I really like the best. It says, "I didn't give you the finger; you earned it." So I like to make sure that everything I do has like a message for everybody.
I feel that just starts off really strong.
Okay.
I mean, that's sort of
dog,
I'm always like, did I lie? Like, I write about assholes. Are you an asshole? Like when people are like, oh, I think that's me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. If the shoe fits, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have a lot of fans of that cup. Is that a cup you acquired, or is it like a sticker put on a cup? My wife put stickers.
It is. No, somebody. I had a reader give it to me several years ago. It is like it's on there somehow. It's not a sticker. I don't think it's dishwasher safe. I've never put it in the dishwasher just for fear of losing that.
Yeah.
But I know she got it at like a specialty bookstore here in Overland Park. Monarch Books is where she bought it. So I don't know.
Hey, hooray for small bookstores. So
exactly.
Shouldn't say small town. Overland Park's not really exactly small. So yeah. So what have you been up to lately, Jen? I mean, we haven't had you on in a year, and that was for Mother's Day. So what's been going on in your world?
I'd like to say I've done so much in this past year, but I really haven't. I've been honestly, I've just been trying to keep my two kids alive. Both of my kids got diagnosed with some really scary medical shit. And so it's just been, I feel like all I do is go to doctor's appointments now. And I've been writing a little bit like on my Substack. It's about the only place that I managed to get anything written. I've got a lot of stuff like in the works, but nothing that's ready for print just yet, but I'm getting there.
Nothing for public consumption just yet.
Oh, and my whole Facebook platform got stolen from me. So I've also been working on trying to get that back, which I think I think it's a lost cause. If you work for Facebook, please let me know.
If you work for Facebook, I have words for you already. That place. And I remember, Jen, when you were like talking about that, and just how you had a massive following. And it got yanked from you, and they were like,
pretty much. I mean, I had over 1 million followers, and then I even paid for their stupid Meta thing, like to be verified or whatever, because I was told if you did that, you'd have like more access and exposure, like a real person rather than like a bot or whatever. The bot was more helpful, so
Thank you for that, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
So someone hacked your account, basically, and Facebook said, meh.
I'd like to say they hacked it. It was really me being really stupid. I got catfished by a podcast. In fact, I don't think I've been on anything since then because I've been so like weirded out and worried. But like, I trust you guys, and you've never asked me for a password or anything. No, they were gonna. They wanted to interview me. They reached out and said that they were from a very popular comedian's podcast, and that they wanted me to come on as a guest, and I thought, great, I would love to do that. And then they told me that it was going to be on Facebook Live, and they said, have you ever done? And I was like, no, I've done like StreamYard, Riverside, like YouTube, but I've never done like Facebook Live with somebody else. And they're like, oh, it's super easy, we'll walk you through it. And so they walked me through basically handing over like a backdoor like access. And so and within like 15 minutes, like I realized what I'd done, and I was like, and so we were like scrambling to try to like get it, kick them out, and then they kicked me out. So yay. And then I saw somebody else had the same thing happen to her too. It was just they target you. They know how to target your ego 100%. Like she's like some sort of like self-help person. And so they said Mel Robbins wants you on her podcast. It's like, and they did the same thing to her. So it's like, they really are getting very sophisticated. And so when I reached out to Facebook, I could not make them understand, because in their opinion, that was not a hack, because they're like, well, do you have two-step authentication? Well, yes, of course I do. But there's a back door.
If there's a back door, and that was a vulnerability on your part, so why?
And then I had to send them, I've sent them copies of my ID, my articles of incorporation, my trademark, and they're just like, yeah, but how do we know you really own those pages? And I'm like, if you go back to, now it's been a year, I think it was over the summer. I'm like, if you go back to anytime before July 1st, you could see that it was a completely different vibe than it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I kind of have given up on that, but I did waste a lot of time trying to get that back. But yeah.
And that's understandable, right? Like if you had to mass that over that, all the time you spent getting to that point.
Well, that's it. I was like, this is like 14 years worth of work that I've put into this, and and I kept like trying to appeal to them, where I was like, I built this here thinking that you were a great place for community and blah blah blah, and it's like these are my business pages, and this is so important to my career, and they were just like, meh. So fuck Facebook. Oh, can I swear on here?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I thought I could, but I wasn't. Too late.
Yeah, it's always amusing to me when we are like, "Hey, can we swear in here?" I'm like, "Fucking A, right? You can't."
Okay, good.
Especially about that. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. And I don't even want to rebuild there. Everyone's like, "Are you going to rebuild?" I'm like, "Why?
Why?
No."
Yeah.
So if anybody has suggestions where everybody's going, I'm interested in hearing. I like TikTok a lot, and I like Substack a lot, but Substack, I feel like I still have more control over. TikTok, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, the latest thing you did or released is this one. You want to talk about this one real quick?
Yeah. Midlife Bites is basically angry self-help for middle-aged women and the men who love them. I've also heard from a lot of husbands who read this book and were like, oh shit, that's what's wrong with my wife. And I'm like, yeah, you should help her out. Basically, I hit 47 a couple of years ago, and I realized that my life was literally half over. Like there was no way to kind of get around that. I was like, damn, what have I done with my life? And I kind of looked at my relationship, and I was like, God, I've been with this guy for 20 years. Am I going to do another 20 years with like the way he eats soup and the way he like makes me turn off lights, and he still doesn't know where to put the damn spatulas when he empties the dishwasher. And so I was just and I was looking at my kids, and when I started writing, my kids were cute and adorable, and now they just send me like Venmo requests, and and so I was just like, are they good people? Like, did I raise decent human beings? And then I was sort of like, do I care? So it was a whole lot of stuff. And so I'd kind of written about it a little bit on my blog, and then my editor from Random House was like, oh shit, this is what we need. And so I wrote that, and it was the one community I was able to save on Facebook. It was my priority that day when I realized I'd been hoodwinked. I could only save one thing from the fire, and I did save my Midlife Bites group. And so I do still have that group. So if you're a woman of a certain age and you feel like setting shit on fire, and you pee when you laugh and you don't know why you can't hardly see anymore, then look us up, find us. We're your people.
Yeah. Is it also my guess is it's also talking about things with menopause and perimenopause and all that sort of fun stuff.
All of that stuff, like the physical, the emotional. For me, like I have more of the emotional stuff. Like I feel like the hormones are out of whack. Like I've only had like 2 hot flashes in my whole life, and they were the worst experiences of my life. And I am sorry to anyone who gets those on a regular basis. But and mine is just more like, I don't know, there's your hair changes, like just, your eyebrows disappear, like all these like fucked up things that I feel like nobody like really told you about. And so I was kind of mad, and I decided to write about it and see if anybody else was mad. It turns out a lot of us are.
Yeah. I'm mad about aging.
Yeah.
Right. What's up, Doug? You got something?
I would say I'm not mad about aging, since I'm fortunate to be here to still be aging. So like I kind of look at it in that capacity, but that's also me. Like I've been, my wife went through early perimenopause and menopause, and she's still in the midst of that. And her hot flashes are just like, woof. I can't help enough because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, here's like we put our air conditioners in because it's 70 degrees and like humid. So I'm like, my wife is going to be like just dying if I don't put the air conditioner in. So
yeah,
the heat flashes are one thing. Just also my back,
my damn back. I swear to God, I've never done so many stretches in my life as I do now. That like like, like every chiropractor, they're like, can you just stretch? I'm like, fuck you, no. I get out of bed and it hurts. It hurts to stretch.
Like, you think I haven't tried that?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Doug, but like, yeah, Doug, that's why I was like this, because you're like, well, I'm happy to be here, and I don't think anybody's saying we're not happy to be here, but at the same time, a lot of our problems that we have are because of age. So then that's where it comes really, really weird.
But I get it, Doug. I mean, I'm happy you're here too. That's a very scary thing to go through, and I think it would definitely, I don't know, would it make me a nicer, happy, more like grateful person? I'm not sure, but I also don't want to try it out. So
no, don't. I not recommend it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that like I'm like that all the time. Most of the time I am not, because I'm too wrapped up in life. But there are times where I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like you escaped it, and now you're stressing out over shit that you can't control. So
right.
Yeah. So that's, again, you're getting through life the best way you can. We're all doing that the best way we can. So
we sure are. And I think that's a lot of what Midlife Vice talks about too, is that you just have to get through it. Like there's no right way or wrong way to do it. We're all in it together. Everybody, like if someone says they have their shit together, I 100% believe they're lying, or they don't watch the news, or they don't read books, or they don't like, I'm just like, do you know the world's on fire? Like, but I think we all are trying to just do the best we can and keep moving and getting through this. And I'm not sure what the goal is, but I guess I'll figure it out. Maybe when I hear 60 is great. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, yeah.
Go ahead,
no. Real quick here. I just want to make sure. So that leads us into, I think the backbone of your, for me, the backbone of your anthology. Is that the word, though? Is that the word?
I think anthology is a single book, maybe a book collection.
Okay, what is it? What is like a discography is a musical collection. So what is an author's collection? Bibliography. There you go. So this is, I feel, the backbone. Thank you, Don. Of your bibliography is people I want to punch in the throat. And as we said at the top, has this aged well? Has it aged well? Jen, you were a visionary in the back then, and you are still a visionary. And let's talk about this, because there's a series of these books, and what was the origin of this for those who missed you the last time, which was over a year now, over almost 2 years now, or something like that, since you really,
other than the Motherhood show,
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if we went into this that hard on Mother's Day. I think we went into it when you were on the previous time, which again, that was over a year ago. So give us the meaning behind, obviously we know the meaning, but what was the origin of this? And I know that there's a funny story about how you approached your publisher on this one.
Yeah, there is. No, it was back in 2011. I started a blog called People I Want to Punch in the Throat, and I started it because I couldn't afford therapy. I was self-employed, and we didn't have very good insurance, and so my husband was about ready to, not hurt me. I feel like now I can't even joke about men abusing women, but he wasn't really going to shoot me, but he was getting very frustrated with me. And so he was like, you should start a blog. And it was 2011 was like the rise of the mommy blog, and so he was like, all the moms have one, like you should go get one. And so I looked online, and all the blogs out there, the mommy blogs that I found it was very Pinterest worthy. Pinterest had just come into existence. Instagram, I don't think existed yet. And so everybody was like, Susie Homemaker, it's like, here's my cleaning schedule that I made in Pinterest, and you can, buy it on my Etsy store, and
like the pre-trad wife stuff.
And everybody was kind of doing that. And I was like, oh God, this is horrible. And I don't want one of these. Like, this just sounds like more work. And So when my husband asked me how my blog was going, I was like, yeah, I think they're all high. They must be. Like, I don't even get why they would dust as much as they do. And so he was like, no, you should write the anti-mom blog, and you should call it People I Want to Punch in the Throat, because you say it all the time. And so I went out and I looked, and People I Want to Punch in the Throat.com was available. So I bought .com, .org, .gov, all of it. And then I just started writing that April 2011. And then that December, I wrote about my elf on the shelf. And the elf on the shelf, it was sort of magic in a bottle, like lightning in a bottle, whatever you say. The elf on the shelf had just become sort of the national like symbol of Christmas. Like everybody had one, Target was selling it. So it was everywhere. And with Pinterest, everybody was making these amazing like tableaus with their elves, and I was getting very pissed off because in those days I had young kids, and I just thought, it's already magical enough. Like, I don't need to make them go ice skating in our toilet. Like, I don't think we need to like, make a parachute out of underoos. Like, come on, man, you just sit on the goddamn shelf. And so I was kind of getting irritated. And so I wrote about it, and I guess I struck a nerve. I guess there were a lot of women out there that felt the same way, but weren't saying it. And so, so in 24 hours, that one got 1 million reads, and it launched everything. I started my Facebook account that night. I started a Pinterest. I mean, Twitter. My sister-in-law was a blogger back then. And she called me and she said, you got to go get on Twitter because you got to claim your name before someone else claims your name. And I was like, what's the Twitter? And so I went over there, and I refuse to call it X because fuck Elon. But and now I really don't go on the Twitter, but I also refuse to give it up because my name over there is Throat Punch, and I don't want a Nazi to take it. So I'll hang on to it.
Yeah, well, you can just let it there. Just let it kind of.
I'm just gonna just let it sit there, unless they're gonna pay me $1 million. But then I started my blog, and I went viral, and then after that, I think the next fall, I self-published my very first book called Spending the Holidays with People I Want to Punch in the Throat. And I did that because I live in Kansas, and I didn't know anybody who publishes books or is a writer, and nobody was calling me. Like, I still think in those days, if you lived on the East Coast or the West Coast, they loved to show, the news would love to show all the new viral, kitten videos and that kind of thing. And I think if I'd lived on one of those coasts, maybe I would have gotten picked up. But because I lived in the middle of the country, it was very difficult. So I self-published, and that book, thank you to my amazing audience, went to #1 on Amazon. And that got Random House. In those days, they were just Random House. That got their attention, and they were like, who's the angry lady screaming in the middle of the country? Like, let's maybe there is an audience for her. And so it kind of just went from there and just kept building on it.
But what's interesting is now you see there's a lot of stuff for women who are, quote, middle-aged, and just there's a lot of things for that. And if you think about it from that perspective, you kind of started this in a way to kind of build that out where people were actually able to voice their opinion because you know how it is. Women get to a certain age and your kids get old. They're becoming teens or, past that. I mean, my youngest just turned 18 this month. Mm-hmm. So I have 4 adults that are kids of mine. And you just, especially for women, it's very much like, well, all right, well, you've done your thing. Now just go sit over there, and I'm glad for this sort of thing to have voices that traditionally have not had voice, or not had a lot of pull. Now, it's not that white women are a marginalized community. That's not what I mean at all.
No,
I just mean that middle-aged women have also kind of gotten short shrift in a lot of things. So,
Well, and I think Gen X we're just different. Like, was it you who shared the thing today about your mom? No, it was Lance. I think somebody shared it about like Gen X. Our favorite response is like your mom. Like, and so, but I think like we are aging differently. That's why midlife bites is called midlife bites, is because I wanted to a riff on like, Reality Bites or, the Breakfast Club or, something, the Menopause Club. I was kind of putting all these names out there because I think that we watched our mom's age and we don't want to do that. And, and there's like a very famous like picture that goes around of the Golden Girls, like how we all thought the Golden Girls were like so old and really those women were only in their 50s, and we were like, oh shit, like, and so we're like, we are not doing that. And so like I think that's the other thing too, is that we're so used to, like women have kind of a role of motherhood and raising children, and I'm with you, my youngest is 18 now. And once you kind of are done with that, you're sort of like, okay. And now, and society is like, and thank you. But then you got JD Vance, who's like, don't worry, girl. Once you're a grandma, we need you to come back and help raise kids. But until then, if you could just go break rocks for a while, that'd be great. And so we just were like, no, fuck that. We're going to go ahead and be loud. And I have all the time in the world now to do what I want and make things happen. So I think a lot of women are finding their voice as they get older.
Good on that, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
This is my response to JD Vance. So
I have a lot of other responses.
I have a lot
of other responses that might get me put on some watch lists, so I think I'll be quiet.
Yeah, we're good on the watch list thing. Also though, so Doug, you have a second beer, and I do. Question.
Go ahead, do your question.
For specifically for Jen, but I almost want to eliminate one answer that Jen could say now, but we'll get to that part. So, Jen, if you could actually punch one inanimate object in the throat right now, what would it be and why?
I think it would be a Cybertruck.
Oh, okay.
I think that the Cybertruck represents everything douchey in this world. And like, it's, when they go by me, I like to flip them off because I'm like, you made the dumbest decision based on your fucking like fanboy. Like you love some weirdo. And, this just proves to me that you have a tiny dick and you have no personality. And so the Cybertruck, I can't punch the driver, so I'll punch their truck.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Facebook, but that would be second, right?
Yeah, I'd rather do the Cybertruck.
Okay, good one.
Facebook is getting there too. Facebook is going under on their own.
Oh, the Teslas. Oh, that conversation. We could go in a whole hour on that one. Doug, we're going to spare that, actually. Or you can go, Doug. You have something.
I want to say that.
Answer the question, please, then.
No, I'm not going to answer the question. I want to actually say that there is actually an airport, and I forget where I saw it, but the airport parking garage is on fire because a Tesla blew up and set in Jacksonville, Florida. It was a Jacksonville airport, and it fucking blew up, and that's what caused the entire parking garage to catch on fire in an airport.
Perfect. It probably saved people from getting on a plane that was going to crash, though. So
there is that.
There's that. They're like, I missed my flight. Oh, it crashed. Good thing. Thank you, Cybertruck Fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, and you can, Jen, since you're the originator of the throat punch book. I mean, you can, if you got more, we're here for that. And Doug, if you have any, please. Doug, are you doing that Golden Strong now?
No.
Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead with that, actually, because I'm not going to do a second one. I'll do the Golden Strong as my second.
Yeah, I'm going to do this one. This one is from Roundhead Brewing. This is from Daniel Fisher. Thank you. This is a Belgian dark. So I had a dark lager, and now I'm a Belgian dark.
Wow. That's what I thought you.
That's what I thought I told you. So my apologies if I was unclear. So that label is super cool with just all the colors and all that shit and the gradients. I don't know. I think that's nifty. I'm a can art nerd, so if you do good can art, I'm probably going to buy your beer, even if the beer might suck. I tend to think good can art leads to good beer, but that is not always the case, unfortunately. And I'm not judging a book by its cover, all that shit. Also, I didn't even pour that aggressively. Look at that. That is ridiculous. Why is that so aggressive?
That's not okay. You're basically about a can of foam, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Greg, did you have the same thing?
Well, yeah, because I was trying to pull it with you, and then you pulled a funny on me. It's cool. We're good.
Yep. Okay. What do you think of it? So I got to wait till this settles down. So,
I mean, you don't have to, but
yeah. Well, I would like to be able to taste the beer through 5 ounces of foam.
Oh God!
Yes, do it.
Did it get to you, Doug?
No, I was able to tip it enough.
You're just basically drinking butterbeer at this point. It looks like.
That is good.
Oh, wait. Oh, I don't even have the right one.
That's okay. What one did you grab?
The Peruvian lager.
That's right. Well, lagers are right up your alley. So, what do you think of the Peruvian lager?
Every beer is up my alley. But yes, this is great. This is light. Definitely has some. It's definitely not just an ordinary lager. Sweet, crisp, light, dulce. Some other things that I can't even read. Cry ente. Refreshing. Nice. Love it. Let's see. Is there an inanimate object that I would like to throw punch right now? I didn't even prepare. I didn't even prepare. How about I say Facebook?
Yeah, there you go.
That's easy, actually. It was such a layup, actually. That was really, really simple. Doug, do you have something you want to throw punch? Inanimate object?
Inanimate object. Sorry, we're going to keep it to
not a human, because there's too many of them. We can, once we hit the end stream, we can do that, actually.
Okay. All right. So there's a million things I could do politically or in that vein. What I'm going to do is I'm going to punch wherever the fucking arena the Celtics play in. So I'm going to punch them because Celtics suck. So I'm going to punch that thing.
The new Boston Garden.
I think it was like the TDI Garden, or I don't know what the hell it's called now, but that's just more my dorky one. So that's what Daniel just had.
So some goofy sports ball thing.
Think alike.
Okay. Yeah. So all right. Because you guys took the good ones like Facebook and Cybertruck.
Well, I have another throw punch question. I'm here for the throw punch questions tonight. So
yeah, sorry.
Why? Yeah. Why do you even entertain that mess after you said that? I just
because I'm antagonizing them on purpose.
I know, but don't feed the trolls. Like, just let them.
JHG, of course, I'm going to feed him.
Don't feed the troll. Anyway, if your life was a series of things that you wanted to punch in the throat, Jen, what would be the title of the current chapter?
So titles are kind of my thing, but they're literally the last thing I write after I write the chapter. So this one's going to take me a hot minute. If you're like a series of things you want to punch in the throat, what would the title of the
Doug, if you got one too, you can.
Yeah. I'm going to say
now. This is where you can put your political things together. I think, Doug, go on.
It's an electric bill because I live in New York State, and guess what happened to my electric? It gets tariffed 25% because of the Canadian shit. So my electric bill just went up $100.
But your electric bill is not a series of things, Doug. It's not a series of things. Got to give me a series of things.
A series of things. Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, if y'all need time, that's cool. We can come back.
A series of things. Heat, humidity.
Well, yeah. So I'll start.
Okay.
Maybe we can.
The title
will inspire us.
Yeah, the title of my chapter would be Clusterfuck Nation. And the series of things is, well, look up the news. Look up the news since January. And that is my series of things that I would like to punch in the throat. And Clusterfuck Nation would be the title of that chapter of the fuck shit that's been going on since January. That's mine.
All right. So then I think my title of this series in my life of things, if my life is a series of things I want to punch in the throat, I think it can all be summed up with where were you on January 6th? You know, because I feel like that just tells me everything I need to know if we're going to be friends or not, and if you're going to help me out and I'm going to help you out. Because I feel like I'm at the point now where I just want to know where everybody stands before I even like waste time on you, because I don't have a lot of time. And so I'm cutting right to the chase. Where were you on January 6th? And if they're like, I was home, horrified, great, we can be friends. If you're like, I was storming the Capitol, I mean.
I was on a tour of the Capitol.
Exactly. Well, that's even better. At least, those I think might be the worst. I was at church, storming the Capitol. But yeah, those are the worst people. They're like, I was just on a tour. I was just touring it. Okay. Yeah.
I have another one too. If y'all want to entertain, I got another one. Doug, if you have one, you can jump in.
I don't, but I want to make a point that I saw a video earlier, and then I saw a stitch of it on TikTok where there's a podcast that does like a dating show in the podcast. I can't remember what it's called. The lady asked, there's two guys there, and of course they're young people, and the guy has a broccoli haircut, which I think Jen will understand because kids that age, and Greg, you will understand too. It's that white person broccoli haircut. It's all floofy. And she asked him, all right, last question. Who'd you vote for? And the guy went, well, that's a tough one. And the entire crowd started booing him.
Shouldn't be tough, son.
And then the girl's like, well, that's all the answer I need. So see ya.
Thank you.
And then the guy, there's a guy where he said, why do these MAGA people who think that liberal folks are the worst thing ever and are ruining the country want to have them in their lives?
Right.
And it's just, and there's a lot of different answers to that. I think one of them is they, especially when it comes to dating, like these conservative men want to get these liberal women and just kind of break them down.
100%.
That's how I see it. But sorry, that was just a tangent on that, Greg. But I just wanted to point out that I think to your point of your like asking the January 6th question, the asking who you voted for is also in that realm. But yeah, Greg, you go because I can't.
Right, Doug. Like my whole life, like it's been. I can't tell you how many like boyfriends I've had that have been like, I would like to break you. Like I would like to I want to be the one who breaks you. And then I'm always like, and we're done now. Thank you very much. But yeah, there is something about that where they really want to break you down. And I think it's so interesting because now I feel that way about them. So I understand it now. Like now I've taken a part-time job, you guys, because as I said at the beginning, I've got 2 sick kids, and so we've got medical bills. And so I took a part-time job where I'm a game show host. And I get to yell at men and I get paid for it. And they get so mad because it's literally like you're playing games you see on TV, and they get so angry when they're losing. And so I get to go like, oh, does somebody have big feelings? Uh-oh. Let's talk about our feelings. And so it's been, it's me. It's a joy to do that. So I love that. And then going back to Greg, I think Clusterfuck is a great title. Yeah.
Yeah, I got another one I think you might be able to relate to. Okay. It's a rabbit hole, and I think we all can relate to it. But I specifically can relate to it. It's a series of things that I want to punch in the throat. I would generally, I think, call it Doug loves alliteration, so we'll go with medical maladies or medical system maladies. One of my important prescriptions just went from $15 to $800 per month. So that is not also included in the misdiagnoses, the fucking I'm telling y'all something's happening with me and y'all not listening. I'm telling y'all something's happening. Y'all listen, but y'all still not getting it. I mean, I could literally talk an hour about this year of medical stuff that I have been through myself, which I am very, very close to the vest of. And I don't speak about it a lot here because, well, especially like tonight where we're broadcasting to YouTube. I don't know who I'm talking to. So if it would be a little different if we were behind the Discord thing, which we started. And Doug, I think a little bit of production. I actually want a Discord only chat next week as a speakeasy. I didn't get to ask you about that or talk to you about that before, but I would love that. That'd be great. And then we can also get into a lot of these things, but also Doug, Discord. I always forget that Discord offers us the ability for our people to talk to us and to come up on stage and talk to us. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're down with that, we won't be doing all the we can't do all the graphic stuff there, but we can hang out and we'll bring back the DJ next week too. So fun times. But yeah, medical maladies, Jen, and the navigation of. Not only is it that you have to navigate your sickness or your illness or your loved one's illness or your loved one's sickness, you have to navigate this fucking irritating, horrible system, quote, medical system that we have. Even if you are privileged enough to have good, quote, good insurance or insurance enough, it's still a fucking fuck show. It may be even worse than our fucking political system.
Agreed.
It is so bad out there, and I just can't even say enough about how I would like to punch all of y'all in the throat. At the same time, I need y'all to stay alive. So I'm fucked. I don't know what to say, and I'm just really frustrated by it. And Jen, I'm going to tee you up because I know you've been going through the same shit. I know you have because
I have been. And my advice to your $800 medicine is contact the manufacturer. A lot of times they'll have a coupon that you can get, and at least for the first year or so. But contact the manufacturer of this drug and ask them if there is some sort of assistance program that they have. It helps. Okay. But then I would also say, building on that, the title of the book would be hashtag Team Luigi. I don't know.
Now we're talking.
Always something witty out of you.
I mean, I just.
Well, if that sums everything, Doug, do you have one? Doug, did you have one of this? Or you also wanted to make a comment on what Jen just said, I think.
Yeah. Also, GoodRx might have some things. That's like an online subscription that has some coupons. It's probably not going to be as much as you could do with the manufacturer, but it's an option. And then there's Mark Cuban's medicine thing that I forget what it's called.
I'll tell you.
He does. Yeah, but it's something where you can, and he does things not at cost, but with very minimal profit. So that it's something where whatever the medicine costs, it's like just barely above that. So hopefully that's something. Is there maybe there's a generic version of what you need? I don't want you to publicly say what it is. I'm just saying there's some options that maybe
this is the generic version.
Oh my God! Okay, damn it.
Yeah, because the real version is like $8,000 probably.
Yeah. Correct. I don't want to get into the drug and all that.
No.
Is Martin Scarelli the owner of that drug?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it just
the other thing I would say too is Sam's Club Pharmacy. They're amazing. They really work with you, and they help you find a really good, like the best prices you can too. So if you get your prescriptions filled there at all, I love them.
Yeah.
Love you, Sam's Club Park. You guys are the best.
So mine is going to be a series of things, and it's going to be related to fucking student loans. Because Jen, I think you have kids that are in college, and the idea of going through FAFSA is just a fucking nightmare. They change the procedure every year. So like last year, we were like 3 weeks late because we didn't know it changed where my daughter had to approve. I never had to do that before. Now they had to approve. I'm like, okay. So now I have to do this, and I have to do this for, when our oldest son went to college, and he's done. But the FAFSA stuff was relatively simple. And my daughter's been in school for 2 years, and this is the third year. They're graduating in 3 years, thankfully. But like the idea of like, just, all right, what are you changing this time? Because shit's gonna be different. It's gonna be messy. My youngest son is going to trade school, and we have to do student loans for that because it's not. That's not super cheap either. Surprisingly, you think trade school might be less expensive, but it's not. But FAFSA and the student loan shit. And the thing is, now if they're trying to get rid of the Department of Education, you got to figure out, well, I better do all this now because what the fuck am I going to have to like refinance my house to be able to pay for a year of school? Like all that shit is fucked. So like the thing is, we're doing a thing with medical stuff. That's fucked. The student loan thing's fucked. The housing stuff is fucked. Like,
so what's the name of your current chapter, Doug? Student loan
sadness. Student loan sadness. Give me the alliteration.
Yeah, I know you got alliteration in there. I know you got to do the alliteration.
I got a new one. All right. Yes, building on Doug's. I'm gonna say, hi, my name is Jen, and can I borrow $1,000? You know, I feel like every time you turn around, like there's something new that you need that's $1,000. And so, you know. Right. Well, I don't even mess with FAFSA at this point because I was too dumb to even understand it. So I literally put my son's college on my Discover card at 0% interest. So and I just keep transferring the balance and paying on it because I don't know what else to do. Because they wanted to give me a loan for with 25% interest rate from the government. And I was like, I think Discover will do better than that for me.
Yes. So we did that, and ours was 8%. So what I'm going to do is, thankfully, my oldest son is going to grad school, so we're not having to pay on that right now. But when my daughter's done and my oldest is done, and then I'm only paying for 1 year. My son's trade school is 2 years. I'm paying for 1 year. My ex-wife is paying for the other. So when all of them are done, I'm going to just basically bundle it and borrow against the equity in my house and pay it at a lower interest rate.
Yeah.
That's that's so fucked. Like, Jesus Christ, it makes me so angry. Like, why am I having to borrow against my fucking house to pay for student loans? Like, Jesus Christ. Sorry, didn't mean to go into angry mode, but that stuff just frustrates.
Well, I asked you about what you wanted to throat punch, so the kind of question.
Yeah, can we just generally just throat punch the government at this point right now? Like, I feel like that would be a general throat punch area. But
I did earlier. So I did earlier.
Our entire
I know.
The smartest cabinet on the planet.
Oh my goodness!
All the best people.
All the best people.
Oh my goodness!
Did you guys get added to that Signal chat? Because I did. Did you guys get a Signal chat invite yet from Vance?
I'm very disappointed I did not.
No. Okay. Well,
maybe I should have bought some shots for Hegseth, and maybe I could.
Yeah. I'll loop you in.
So I got a parenting question for y'all. Because we're coming off of Mother's Day, and we hope you had a great Mother's Day. Jen, you can comment on that after this if you want. But what common parenting trope, y'all, that makes you want to roll your eyes into another dimension?
I think I have 5 books about this.
Right.
I think you did.
Right. So we'll let Jen. We'll let Doug go first.
Would you say that?
You have one, Doug? Since you
I want Jen to go first because she wrote a whole book about this shit. So you go first.
Well, yeah.
A common parenting trope makes me want to roll my eyes into another dimension. I think. Oh God, there's so many. Well, and right now so I've got one in college, and then I had one that was in high school, and she's in the midst of taking the GED right now, and I think I don't know if it's a trope, but there's definitely something about like Doug, like you have a kid in trade school, and so I'm maybe you hear this too, where it's like, they're not going to go to college. Oh, they're not going to, go this path that supposedly is the right path for every kid. And so, and I think when I was a younger mother, my children were younger, I just assumed they would go the path that I chose for them, and they did not. And so, and so I think there's something to be said about kind of letting your kids have some freedom to figure out their lives. I'm in a lot of parenting groups still online for college kids, and I'm amazed how many parents still clean their kids' dorm rooms and things like that. And so I kind of want to roll my eyes at any mom or dad who is still kind of babying their kids. Yeah.
Helicoptering stuff.
Yeah.
Aren't those attachment issues though more than anything, or no?
It's
an attachment issue, and I think it's a like a control thing, you know?
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the term that's really popular right now is enmeshment, where it's basically the parents are enmeshing themselves in their kids' lives. It's a thing. And you'll see it a little bit like, all right, so I'm a junkie for the stupid things like Two Hot Takes and like the Smosh podcast where they read Reddit stories. Reddit stories are like Greg, you know, you're on Reddit all the time. The stories on that fucking site are just like the most bonkers shit. You're like, there are people that actually do this, and just like the people that have like specifically mother-in-law issues with the mother-in-law, especially if the mother-in-law and it's the husband's mom. For some reason, those are like just the most bonkers one. Like there's enmeshment, like just you can't let your kid just kind of live their life, like, and kind of, yeah, they're going to make mistakes. Guess what? That's fucking life. That's how we all made a shit ton of mistakes when we were young. You know, yeah, Gen X, we were kind of latchkey and our parents either kind of ignored us or abused us. It was one of the two or both or whatever. But I'll tell you what, we all kind of were like, fuck this. We're going to go try to make our path, and we had to figure it out. Now, it was a lot easier because things weren't like crazy expensive. But like, I've seen stories of people where the parents went on job interviews.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, your kid can ask you questions like, here's what, if they ask this, do this, like, give them advice, but fucking let them go out and roll the dice. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yep. I agree. The enmeshment that's a good word, enmeshment.
Yeah, it's just it's like a sort of a buzzword right now. So just sorry.
Yeah.
Mine, let me explain, but y'all gonna maybe not y'all, but someone, if you hear this out of context, you're gonna get pissed off, but I don't really care. My common parenting trope that makes me want to roll my eyes in another dimension is, quote, kids need two parents in order to be successful, end quote.
Ooh,
no, they don't. No, fucking no. Especially if one's a fucking shithead. No, and super no. So is that ideal? Yes, to have two good parents. Is that realistic? I don't know. I'm not sure about that, actually. I really am not. And one of the things that I've come to in 2020, and yeah, I'm gonna go down a little rabbit hole here, and it bugs me that it took me to 2025 to actually get to this point, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And brace yourselves, y'all. Men are garbage.
You're not wrong.
I mean, I'm not going to argue
Men
with you
are
there.
fucking garbage across the board. Across the fucking board. And one of the places that I found this out,
not all men.
Not that I found. No, it's not all men. But it's just, again, if I say white people are trash, y'all know, y'all know I'm not. Y'all know clearly I don't mean all, because I wouldn't be here if it was all. So, so we're not doing that all game, but we can do a general game, and I am going to do a general game, and I'm speaking for myself, not y'all. Men are garbage, and in the parenting area, and in just many areas, we aren't as wonderful as we think we are as a group. And what I mean by we, I mean men. And no, we have so much unpacking, so much work to do. It's just wild. And one of the places, Doug, that I found this out, not that I didn't know it, but when did I get this wonderful positive reinforcement is TikTok. There are 2 TikTok creators that are men that get online and they say what I say. And just first of all, the guests that come up to bat this down are just proving their point. Also, there's a level of logic behind this. And there's, again, thought processes behind all this. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So no, and that's, this idiot, Anthony Edwards, Doug. He's what I'm talking about as far as like again, as far as like, you know, having two parents that are good, or no, having, you know, kids quote need two parents. Nah, because we don't need him to be parenting anybody because he's a fucking jackass, in my opinion. And there's just so many other jackasses. And then what happens is, Doug, the jackasses perpetuate more jackassery. So then that's not helpful, and that's not good parenting, and that's not good for our society. So again, yeah, men are trash, and I'm part of that. So I can also say white people are trash, and I'm not part of that. But I can say men are trash, and I'm fully a part of it, and I'm fully accepting my whatever that is, part of all that. And as a young male adult, I was completely horrible in so many areas. And it's just great that I was able to see the light and grow and become a better person. But I was what I'm talking about at one point in my life. So I know what I'm talking about. I come from experience. I was the jackass that I'm talking about. I was me. And I know everybody's like, really? I can't believe that. Yeah, I can't believe it either. And it makes me sick, actually. But that's really what it is. So I don't know why I went down this rabbit hole on this one, and I wasn't really expecting to. But yeah. So Doug, do you have any common parenting tropes that make you want to roll your eyes into another dimension?
I mean, there's a million parenting tropes. Anybody who thinks that beating your kid will get them to obey you. Listen, I have a wife who grew up in super evangelical circles, and the amount of people who still believe that you should beat your kids to get them in line is a lot bigger than you would think. And that kind of shit is gross and wrong. And all you do is make your kids.
And many of them are men. Many of them are men. Just saying.
Yep. Yep, for sure. And the thing is, what you do that, you make your kids afraid of you, and you make your kids hide shit.
Yep.
Like, that's what you're creating. You're creating an environment, one, where they're not safe. They don't feel safe. They're not going to come to you with issues. They're not going to tell you this is bothering them or this is a problem. They're not going to come to you. That's shitty parenting. And again, we're getting to a point where like that isn't the norm, and where you have, and the people that do that hide it. But you know, when I grew up, like, people beat the shit out of their kids all the time. And I mean, I think, you know, we're all of a certain age, so I think we all knew kids that were like, man, that kid's, my parents aren't great, but holy shit, that kid's he's coming in with all kinds of problems, and it's because of how his parents parented him. And that stuff needs to end. And it's also, I'm going to go on a slight tangent here, is that I was watching this one video where this person was talking about a study where they were asking folks who were more likely to be amenable to authoritarianism, which is a funny way to say it. But basically what they did is, it used to be this whole like 74 question questionnaire, which was back in the 40s after World War II. And now what they boiled it down to was 8 questions, and they're all parenting related.
Wow.
And all it is like, would you rather have a child that's curious or obedient?
Oh.
Well-mannered, or it, and it was just basically either or, and you have to pick. And the people that were much more inclined to follow authoritarianism and fascism were the ones that required their kids to obedient. Like all that shit, that's all that sort of evangelical brain beating. And that's a bit of a tangent, but it just shows you that that's, when you're doing that to your kids, that's what you're showing them.
Yeah. And
you know, listen, I'm with Greg. Like, when I was young, I was a fucking doofus, and I did a lot of bad shit, and I have to atone for that, and I have to live with that. And you know, thankfully, I'm not that anymore. But one thing I didn't do is beat my kids. I never did that. That was not something. I mean, it was. I just didn't think that was okay, because I didn't get the shit beat out of me, but I certainly got hit, and for things that they could have just sat and talked to me. Said, "Why did you do that?" And not in a mean way, but if you just sit and you talk to your kid, why did you do that? And you just reason with them and you talk to them, you're going to get a better parental relationship and a better relationship with your kids than if you just beat them and say, knock it off and shut up. And that's a trope that not as common, because I think that's sort of hidden now. more, but like that's an old trope. That makes me just furious and want to roll my eyes into another dimension. So.
Doug, I've never hit my kids, but I would grab a bitch though. So like that was the thing. Like you got a warning, especially when they were young, and then I would just get up and grab them. Like it would be like sometimes it'd be like a little bit of a jerk, but that was the most that I got physical with my kids. But because there was sometimes, especially when they were young, that they had to understand that I was in charge. But as they got older, it just became, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more of a, conversation and, consequences, things happen and you have consequences for your actions, which,
for sure
should be what we're teaching, I think, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah. And Jen, I don't know if you had any more. Again, you have a bunch, of course, but if you wanted to jump in more before we go on, that's cool. Or if you just
I had one more. I have one more, kind of building on what you said about men being trash. It's my favorite topic. No, I'm just kidding. No, but so I used to always say, whenever I would like go to blogging conferences and stuff, and I would speak, and everybody would want to know, like, how do you go viral? How do you go viral? And with women, I'd be like, well, you got to do like these 85 things, And then with a man, I'd always say, if you're a daddy blogger, though, all you got to do is learn how to braid your daughter's hair. And then everybody would you'll break the internet. Like we put them on like these dads, we put them on pedestals if they just do like minimums, And there was a tweet I saw the other day, and I wish I could remember it exactly, but it was to the effect that like we applaud like single dads who like pay their money on time and they visit their kids once a week, but then we like scandalize like the single moms, and we're like, how horrible to be with a single mom, and I do think that the dads have it a little bit easier. And when the kids were younger, there was a lot of women who would say, oh, my husband's going to babysit tonight, and that would drive me batshit crazy. And I'm like, oh, you mean take care of his own children? He's going to take care of his children and see what his children need. Oh, that's awesome. I love that for him. He's going to spend time with his kids. Great. So I don't like, and I think the trad wife thing now is back again. And I feel like it's like we're repeating that whole cycle again. Yeah, it's great that your husband is babysitting. Exactly. Like, oh my God, I love that for you. Like, he's such a good dad, and I don't like that. So.
And so Doug and I, so one of the things here real quick, I would love to say is that like, I know a lot of good dads. I do. And the reason I do though, is because I went to meet them somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking like, my anecdotal evidence is not good because I went to dad conferences for like all years. And at those conferences, oh yeah, I probably met some bad dads for sure, but also, or some performative dads, if that makes sense. But there was a lot of great dads that I know, and I know because I know them personally, and I could just see them, and I talk to them personally every day. So my evidence isn't everybody's evidence, and my evidence isn't really great evidence because, again, I went to a different place where I could meet dads who were not typical or normal, if that makes sense. But I'm talking about the typical or normal dad, respectfully. No, again, and if any of this is going to get cured as a society, then the people within that community have to police the people within that community. I always say this about Doug, and I always say this, like, black people don't want y'all white people in our issues. We fucking don't. Stay the fuck out, respectfully. We don't need your opinion. We don't want your opinion. At the same time, y'all should go deal with y'all white friends and your white people, because again, they're not going to listen to us, just like men don't listen to women generally in this area. So like, and just like on some level, women should definitely never listen to men when it comes to certain women things, for sure. There's just no question at all. And I'm speaking as a man again. So there's a level of men have to clean up our own men shit. So Doug, men like Doug and I have to be talking about this or calling out these dads in order for anything to happen, or dads, men, whatever you want to call, whatever, cis men, whatever, go down the list. we have to, that this is work that men have to do with other men. It can't just be coming from other places. And that's what I feel. So that's why I've started to today. I think I've said this before. But I'm going to be more stronger about this because again, I'm just really sick and tired of the way that men act. And there's certain level of this, we just get away with it. And you can start at the fucking POTUS right now, and just go down from there. What's up, Jim?
I was gonna say, to add to that though too, like I'm not putting all the blame on you guys because I do think that there are a lot of women who enable these horrible men.
Sure.
Owning my own shit as a white woman, like we fucking put POTUS in the office, and I'm very upset about that. It's like I'm just tired of these women carrying water for these horrible men who hate us. By the way, guys, those guys, the bad men, they hate you. Like they hate you. Why are you helping them? They hate you. And so that just bugs me. So yes. But I'm that's why I hang out with you guys, because I know you guys are the good ones. Like there are good men out there and good dads out there, but I think you're right. We all have to kind of clean up our own houses.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
So I'm going to piggyback on something else with that isn't parenting. So another thing that is sort of come to the forefront, and I'm going to use TikTok because I watch too much of it probably, is the whole weaponizing competence thing. Jen, I'm sure you've seen the shit out of this. And this is Greg. This goes right to your men are trash. And I'm going to tell you the amount of dudes that just think that I wash the dishes and I'm good. You don't have to do anything. I'm doing nothing else. You take care of all this. And it's interesting because I'm not a person who always thought that roles were traditional. Never thought that. I thought that's what I thought. And then in my first marriage, there was a lot of very traditional roles. Now, my ex-wife was very sort of in the vein of, you do mow the grass because I don't want to do that. And I'll clean the house. And my ex-wife was like a neat freak and had to clean all the time. I was more of I'll clean it when it's dirty. And that's just how I roll. But it's interesting to see just the men who will do shit and just do it poorly so the women will have to do it. And just and just these people getting called out. It's just hun, they'd be talking to these women, be like, hun, that guy is doing this on purpose. He's doing this terrible job. So you have to do it because it's not up to what you want. Or another thing is the idea of a guy asking, just give me a list of stuff to do. And sometimes that is necessary because, all right, if you're saying, please do this, and if I do X and it's not what you like, then that upsets you and then you redo it. Okay. And the thing is, though, if you're a guy, what you should do is you go, okay, show me how you like that and how you want that to be done. And I will do that. And I'll never ask you that again. That's easy. That's easy. It is not hard, guys. It's really not fucking hard. All you got to do is just pay attention and listen. Fucking listen. But just the weaponizing competence thing, I just find, listen, I wasn't that, but I was adjacent to that in my first marriage. In my second marriage, not at all. In the second marriage, I do most of the stuff, and I'm happy to do so because it makes my wife's life way easier because she travels so much more than I do. So I know I'm doing a lot more, but that's because she's fucking driving all the time. I should do it. She's not home. So yeah. Can you speak a bit about weaponizing competence from your perspective as far as people you want to punch in the throat, I guess?
I think that was one of the first examples of my childhood that I saw. My dad and my brother both would. My mom is a complete neat freak. She wants things done a certain way, and I had to do things as many times as it took for her to be satisfied. Whereas my brother would do it once and he'd be like, oh, but you're so much better at it, mommy. I can't, And then my mom would do it. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? What? Just show him the way you showed me how to do it, And my husband is not He does. I would not say he does that very often. He'll say to me sometimes, so you would think after 25 years of marriage, he wouldn't have to say, what do you need me to do? Like we're hosting Thanksgiving at our house. Hey, what do you need me to do? What do you think you should do? Like look around. What do you think needs to get done? And then I think as a woman too, that
time to go paint the garage.
Yes, exactly. Go mow the lawn, go organize the attic. That would be fantastic. Great idea. But I think also as women that we also have to kind of like lower our standards sometimes with our kids and our husbands, that like they're not going to do it exactly like, with like making beds with my mother. Like she wanted hospital corners, and it's like they may not put hospital corners, but they made the bed and it was helpful and you didn't have to make it. And so I think there's kind of like a fine line there that you have to walk. But I see it a lot with my son now. Like my son, he'll bring home laundry from college and I'll say, washer's open. And he's like, oh, but mommy, you do it so good. Like, I love when you do my laundry. No.
Good.
No.
Now go do it yourself.
Go do it yourself. It's like, I'll show you how. And so I already am apologizing to whoever his future wife will be, but I did my best. I tried so hard, but sometimes it's just who he is, sometimes. And I find myself like I think that's the thing is they wear you down. Like after a while, like I get tired of like arguing, like, hey, I need you to help me do this. Hey, I need you to, and then it's like in a minute. Whereas my daughter will just be like, yeah, I got you. And she'll just do it. And I try not to like rely on her as much. And I try to force my son to do things. But I think with the husband thing, you have to, I always say too with women, you have to ask. I don't think that men have a lot of common sense when it comes to like the world around them. Like it's like you, Doug, like you were like, I'll clean it when it's dirty. Whereas like I think a lot of women are just like, it's dirty now. like it's dirty now. And so years ago I asked a question on social media. I used to ask questions to try to like generate conversation, and it was, how often do you wash your towels? And I remember like I think some men were joking, but a lot of men were like, you wash towels? Like, I don't know, twice a year, like, and so I think that's the other thing is that there are some things that we have to kind of like tell them.
Maybe they use them for a few months and just toss them in the trash.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, they're not disposable. I think, but I think you have saying to do some of that details is a recipe for failure on the man's part. I think, yeah, but I think I showed you one time how to do something.
Maybe two if someone's not adept, but yeah.
Yeah. But I do think women have to.
But I think after two, you should get the fucking hang of it. You shouldn't have to ask. But yeah.
But and Jen's right though. There's a pragmatic level to women as far as this goes sometimes, and it's like, all right, I see you're not getting this done and it has to get done, so I'm going to do it. And like, that's the breaking point. That's like, and these people who play these games, for lack of a better word, know that that's going to happen. So then they just wait for that breaking point to say, someone's going to have to do this, so I'm going to get it done. Like, and it's just like, But Doug,
I think a lot of men can't take criticism. Like, they'll do something and you'll say like, oh, you didn't do that right. And well, fine, I'll never do it again then. Like, obviously, and whereas, and that was my dad. And I remember like the very first time like I ever like corrected my husband, and he was like, okay, I can do that. And I was like, oh, what? Like it was such a foreign idea to me. But I do think, so I think a lot of women are afraid maybe to correct their husbands. But, if my husband's out organizing the garage and we're getting ready to host 20 people for Thanksgiving at my house, I'm definitely going out into the garage and I'm going to say, hey, asshole, what are you doing? I need you to fucking vacuum, or, I need you to like dust the floorboards because my mom's going to check them. No one's going to look at the garage. Get in here now. Whereas I think other women will get on like social media, or they'll text their friends and they'll be like, oh, he's out in the garage again, organizing the garage. And I'm, doing 80 million things. And I'm like, go tell him to get his ass inside. But I don't know.
Well, Doug, You're not gonna have to tell me to get my ass inside if you have a beer like this. I love trying to do segues. I love trying to do segues. Yeah, my segues are. I think they've gotten better, Doug. I mean, they've always been horrible, but
sure.
what are we gonna do?
I agree.
The DDH Cashmere from one of my favorite breweries in this bitch, Black Stack, Doug. Very, very nice. They do the IPAs well. They do like 6 of them. They do. They'll never. But the best part about Blast Stack is, Doug, they have like 18 taps, so they do 6 of them are IPAs. So they make sure that they have their IPAs, if that makes sense. But then they have lagers and stouts and all that. So they're really good. Again, I respect the IPA game because you gotta pay the bills, and people love the IPAs. So this is just another good one from them. Doug, you might be able to get this one. I'm not sure when I get it to you. And Daniel, I owe you some beer too, so you might get one of these too. I owe all y'all beer. But anyway, it's a good one, Doug. You have a third one, everybody.
I do. And I grabbed one from my cellar
questions. Oh, okay. So then I have two questions for us, and we'll get out of here then.
Yeah. So this is from October of 22.
Why?
It's Dark Mode from Revolution Brewing.
Big one. That's a big one.
Big thanks to Doug Valicki when he's no longer at that company. But man, I have been holding on to this, and I was like, so this is a big boy. This is 13.2, 13.8. 13.8. So this is, they don't mess around. So I am generally not a fan of ending on like a giant beer, but I just have not done a cellar beer in a while. So like I said, 2.5 years old. So we're going to just let it rip and see what happens. Because, that smells lovely.
The Knicks Boston game is not a game.
Nope. And I would hoist up my shirt more, but I'm pouring a beer. So that one, even though it's 2.5 years, usually when you pour a barrel-aged beer that's 2.5 years old, you are not going to get a head on it like that. So, yeah, look at that thing. Ooh, baby. Smells boozy, as it should.
Boozy.
Oh, that is super duper fucking tasty. Like, just, I mean, Revolution does their barrel age programs amazing. So that one.
What does it taste like though? Tasty notes.
So the thing is, like, Dark Mode, what did it say? It's Imperial Milk Stout. Oh, so Imperial Milk Stout. All right. So that is why I'm getting the sweetness and the smoothness. It's a lactose. So that is really, really tasty. Apologies to Daniel Fisher, who is lactose intolerant and can't drink this stuff. But, man, this is really good, really smooth, really tasty, very boozy. So it's like bourbon barrel aged stuff. So you're going to get some booze, but man, but it's not boozy that it burns. Like, sometimes you get a barrel aged bourbon barrel aged things that are just like,
milk's probably helping there. Milk's probably helping with that.
For sure. So cheers. And that's a beautiful beer.
All right, John. If you had to describe your writing style in 3 emojis,
Wait. I have a question. Did you use like Chat GPT for these prompts?
No.
Okay, good.
It was Gemini. Anyway, go on.
That's okay.
Go on, Jen. Go on, Jen. No. This one I actually thought of myself, Doug. I was thinking of but I love it.
I love the question.
Yes, it's a great
I do source some of my questions via AI though. Mostly for ideas, and then I usually switch them up. But anyway, Jen, I know you're an author, and Doug, I want you to answer this too because you're an author, and I'm not a writer, but I am a creator, so I'll answer in my own way. But we'll give Jen the first stab at this.
All right, I think it would be. So it'd be like, I don't know. I don't know emojis very well, but like, is there like a pencil or something like that? So like some sort of writing instrument. Okay. Then there would be like a pile of shit.
Okay.
And then and then at the end they'd be like, "Yay!"
Oh, okay. Doug, I'm interested in yours.
All right. So since I generally write like sci-fi and horror when I write stuff, which has not been in months, I have not been good about writing. So I'm going to say like a stabby knife and then like blood drop and
A drop of
then probably
blood.
a space. Yeah, because I write horror stuff. So, but then because of the sci-fi stuff, I'll do a spaceship. Like that'll be my third emoji. Maybe that should
your
be the
writing
first emoji.
style.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's the kind of stuff I write. That's the kind of stuff that I'm really interested in kind of exploring with writing. Used to be dad blogger stuff. I don't do that shit anymore because my kids were like, no, I don't want to be written about. I'm like, okay, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, mine is the eye roll emoji, the cringe emoji, and the the upside down smiley face emoji, because my content style or how I come up with it is just haphazard and wild and crazy, and I don't know. It's by my mood, and yeah, it's. Oh, this is Daniel's.
What
Oh yeah.
What's the thing in the middle?
It looks like
beer.
2 beers.
It's a
cheers.
beer. And then what's the guy on the end? The thing on the end?
Isn't he an
alien? Alien.
That's an alien?
Yeah. And then a big cheesy grin is the first one. All right. And we got another one here. I thought it was going to be a quick one. Actually, we have 2 more. Doug, let's get a little messy here with food. What's a food combination that everyone thinks is weird, but you secretly love, Doug or Jen?
I'm going to say, and it is. Can I do a food and beverage combo?
It's a food combination. So beverages or food, I think, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to do one from the curd nerd, Sarah Simiel. I can't remember how we pronounce her last name, but she did a cheese beer pairing with us. That was like blue cheese and an IPA. That was just the strangest thing. I thought that would never work because I'm not a fan of IPAs and blue cheese, which I'm not generally a fan of. And it was absolutely delicious together. That was, again, I'm hearkening back, and it was I just remember being so floored that was good because I was not a fan of either the beer style or the cheese. And it was super good together. The other thing is, I will say that everybody thinks of chocolate being paired with wine. Chocolate and scotch is fucking amazing. It is just, especially like a good peaty scotch, there's like the earthy peaty stuff with the sweet chocolate, just superb. As far as food, man, I have to think on that. So I'll defer until I can think on that a bit.
Okay. Jen, do you have anything that comes to mind?
No.
Oh, look at that. I love it. I actually love stumping y'all. That's a good one. Doug, I stumped myself on this one.
What? You came up with the question. How do you not have an answer? When I come up with questions, I always have an answer because I'm a dork like that.
Yeah, that's not a criteria for me. Sorry. That's okay. Yeah, because actually, Doug, respectfully, it's not about
I have one.
It's about us. So go on.
Ketchup and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Isn't everybody like ketchup on their hot dog?
No. Hot dog, quote unquote, purists think ketchup on hot dogs is sacrilege.
Oh, well then wow.
Even Greg.
No.
Okay, so I just Googled just so I could see what else is out there.
Yeah, that's good.
Chocolate covered bacon. No, that sounds delicious.
Great.
Cheetos and milk. It's like a bowl of Cheetos with milk. cereal.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
That's terrible. Oh, fries and ice cream. I do like to dip fries like in a Frosty or something.
Frosty is very good.
But I think that's like normal. But I thought ketchup was normal.
That's normal. That's not. You don't get to use that one. No.
Peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
You like that shit?
Sweet,
no, I'm just reading what other people like.
Okay.
No.
We're down for that too. Let's go.
Hey, you like that shit? Oh, it's over, Doug. Your Celtics are gone, Doug.
Good.
All
you
right.
know what's funny? So let me ask you: have you either of you had peanut butter and bananas together? Because I absolutely love peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
There's one.
Toasted bread with some melty peanut butter and put bananas on. That is.
There's
amazing.
one.
Fantastic.
There's one.
That's so good.
Yeah, there's one. That's it. That won this one, Doug. That won this one. All right, Doug. Last question. What is the most overrated animal and why?
Well, I have several answers to this, but Jen, I'll defer to you to start.
Okay.
Or if you don't have anything, I will go.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. First of all, otters. Otters are rapists. They will rape dead animals. Otters do all kinds of awful fucking shit. They are awful animals. Like, they look so cute when they're on their back, and they hold hands and they're
so cute.
They are, and they rape the shit out of the females. Like, they are not good animals. They are really awful, just awful animals. They look cute. I'm telling you, they're terrible animals. Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
All right.
So they're overrated because everybody thinks they're cute, and they are just terrible. But anyway.
Right. No. Can rabbits enter the chat here?
Go. Let's go.
Horrible.
Let's hear it.
Rabbits are horrible for many reasons. They're just not nice. That's just it. How about is it swans?
Oh yeah.
They're fucking nasty,
right? Swans and Canadian geese are
nasty. Right, and they will track you and run you down. Right? Is this the bird I'm talking about? Okay, go. Jen, do you have any?
Swans are worse. Swans are worse. Yeah.
Swans are so pretty though. Like, you almost want to fuck with them because they're so majestic, and the way they look, and that long neck, and how they're in the water, and they look graceful. But don't go near those things. Nah. Kangaroos. Kangaroos. They're assholes too, aren't they, Doug?
Jacked up deer. They look like deer. Like, they look like deer who've been like pressing.
They look like prison deer. Yes, they look
like
prison
deer. Thank you. That's exactly it.
Okay, koalas.
Daniel, that's mine. Koalas is the same. I was gonna say koalas.
Okay, because they're cute, right? But they're nasty.
Well, so like, I have a story about a koala where I was asked a question in an interview, a job interview, what animal I'd be and why, and it totally caught me off guard. And I said I would be a koala bear because they're little and cute, but they're feisty. And then I growled. I went, arr. And I did not get that job, but I would tell that story a lot, like when I would speak to different groups and stuff. And one day, this guy came up to me and he said, "Oh, I thought you were going to say you're like a koala because you have chlamydia." And I was like,
they are rampant. Chlamydia is a very rampant thing.
They are horribly rampant with chlamydia.
Koalas?
And apparently they smell like shit. They smell terrible. And they're super dumb. Like, their brains are smooth because all they eat is eucalyptus and it has no nutritional value. So they are also dumb as fuck. And like, yeah, but they're adorable. So, you know.
Yeah, John Oliver did a whole thing on chlamydia. And
oh, really?
Yeah. Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
I have another one. Greg, do you have any?
No,
anymore?
I mean, not initially, but go on.
Dolphins. Dolphins are also shitty rapists.
Also
Why?
Rapey people or rapey animals.
Yeah.
Ruining it.
Very, very rapey. Very rapey.
But you know what so everyone kind of like like the orca is kind of getting like a bad rap because they like are attacking boats but
that's not a bad rap to me. Fuck them.
It was. I saw an orca. I saw this whole thing where again, I'm a TikTok fan, and there's this kid I watch on TikTok, and all he does is talk about animals and tell you weird stuff about them, and I enjoy it immensely. But he was talking about how orcas like to basically like hit seals with their tails and just for fun, just
launch them.
Launch them, and they're like he doesn't eat them. They don't eat them, or it's just literally for fun. And I was like, that is horrible, but also like kind of funny. So I think that's another one I put on my list. And then I keep coming back. There's got to be something about the gorilla fighting 1,000 men. Come on, you guys. Like
100 men.
Is it 100 men? Oh, even better.
Dudes, guys.
I'm gonna say those guys are the animals that are overrated. Like
you are not beating a gorilla. I don't care how big you are. Those gorillas are fucking super strong. If you're trying to fight a gorilla, you are an idiot.
So one of my favorite memes that I used to share all the time is, I want to hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker. And it's like this guy like swinging a person. That's what I think of with that gorilla. Like he would just pick up one of those guys and just and knock out all the other 99 with the first guy. And I mean, the fact that like the men are like legit, like literally like, oh, I could choke him out. Like what?
Yeah.
I can't even choke out my own dog. My dog is stronger than that. Like you think a gorilla you can choke out. Okay.
And that is so something that a man would say too. It's just so.
Remember the one, Greg? Remember the one where they were talking about like, what is the level of animal that think you could fight on your own?
Yes.
And these guys were like, I can fight. I'm like, dude, you can't fight shit. You can fight an otter.
Right.
Like maybe.
Right.
Like, I heard otters will rip your face off though. They'll eat your face off. So
some of these cats. I ain't fucking with the cats. Could be evil. I'm not fucking with any cat. Like it really. You asking this dog? A little spider, a fly. I ain't trying to fuck with any animals. I'm not trying to fuck with any animals. Y'all are weird. I'm not trying to do it at all. Any of them. Y'all are weird. That's it. Like monkeys. Yeah. No, monkey will tear your face off. What are we talking about here?
Hey, can I do a tangent off the 100 men versus a gorilla? I was watching a skit by Josh Johnson. I don't know if you guys are aware of who he is.
I love him.
I'm going to see him on my birthday.
Oh.
In Syracuse. I am so stoked. He did a skit where he was talking about this show called Chimp Crazy, where these white women were just buying chimps and they would think they're very cute and they're small. And when they get big, they get aggressive. And you can't fuck with them because chimps are fucking crazy strong. And they're like, he's like talking about all this stuff about like this one chimp got out of a car that she was driving him in and just sat and was like, yeah, come and get me. And people are like, I don't know what to do. It's a fucking chimp. So he's like, all right, so you think you can stop a chimp? All right, all you idiots that think they can fucking fight a gorilla, try fighting a chimp first. That chimp is way smaller. And just like, I'm going to tell you, I have never watched that documentary. I'm not sure I could watch
wild.
it. I like watching wild docs because I do a cult bar show with like a bunch of wild cults. I'm not sure I could watch it because I'd be like, what are these idiots doing? Don't buy a chimp. Chimps are mean.
Wild. I mean, it's not like Tiger King level, but it's pretty crazy. Like how much.
No.
And then when like, and it's like they treat them like babies. And then when they try to rip your face off, then they're like, kill it with fire. And so, like there's no way to like stop these, you have to kill it. Like you can't just wrestle it to the ground and be like, come on, Jim, calm down.
Stop right now.
Take a deep breath. Like, no.
No.
He's not meant to wear overalls and live in a crib, like he is a wild animal. So
can we do the opposite of what's the least overrated? Like what animal is not rated high enough? I'm curious. I'm throwing that at you out of left field, but I have an answer for this.
Okay, so what's your answer?
It's the quokkas. Have you ever seen quokkas?
So isn't that the one that throws their babies at predators?
No. They are like these little tiny, like smiley faced little animals. They shit in cubes, which is really stupid. But they are like not afraid of people. They just are like go buddy up. Like they're just the most docile, cute little things. I'm trying to. I think it's Quokka. I think is how you spell it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's got the train going on, but like, all right.
Oh yeah, that's me for sure.
All right, so I'm going to pull this up.
Okay, wait. They have a promiscuous mating system. After a month of gestation, females give birth to a single baby. Damn, every month they can have a baby.
Yeah, but of course they're in, I think they're in, probably in Australia.
Yes, I'm right. Listen, Doug, listen to this. When a female quokka with a joey in her pouch is pursued by a predator, she may drop her baby onto the ground. The joey produces noises which may serve to attract the predator's attention while the mother escapes.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
sorry, but your quokka is trash.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, but if you're gonna,
I get it, they're cute, but I mean, yeah, they're adorable, but they throw their babies at the predators.
Yeah, but look how cute they look.
Hello, dog.
Christ.
Come here, Stanley.
Oh, goodness.
All right. See, I didn't realize they threw their young as bait. That I didn't know. That sucks.
Well, looking cute.
Suck.
Yeah.
Well, looking cute. At least they throw them while they're looking cute, though.
What about the honey badger? I like the honey badger.
Yeah, but they're mean.
That thing is nasty.
I don't think the honey badger.
Greg's in badger country. Greg's in fucking badger country.
That is nasty.
Or like, what about what's another one that I really like? Oh, remember when they had that whole TV show about the what are those little guys? They live in the ground and they have like a matriarchal society.
Like not the prairie dogs, maybe something of that.
Something like it. It's like
no, they were very cute.
They're very cute. I like those guys. I think they're underrated, but also wild animals, and I wouldn't keep one. Meerkats. Yes. I don't think they do anything problematic. Meerkat Manor. That's the one. Yes, I used to love it.
Meerkats. They appear cool. So also, what's cool is we're gonna wrap here soon. But I would like Jen. Jen, can you pull up her Substack so everybody could show? Or you could show everybody. I know you had to take it down for that.
I can do
that goofy animal. Yeah, it'd be cool. So this is Jen's latest creation here. And Jen, would you like to? Where can we get you? Obviously, sorry, Facebook ain't one of them.
JenMannWrites.com is my website, and that takes you everywhere.
Awesome. Let's see. Where can we? Yep. All right, and then your Substack, Doug's going to show right here.
Yep. That's it.
And then you could probably get that via Google, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Genman. Yeah, genman.substack.com. So
and when we go there, what do we expect besides your wittiness?
I mean, do I have to offer more than that? I'm confused.
But is it like, do you opine on like current affairs, or is it just parenting, or what's the subject matter there?
Right now it's very current affairs. I have a lot to say, and I think it's just more my opinion. It's a lot of opinion pieces. Let's put it that way about everything.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
As it should be.
A fan of yours would love to be there. Should be there already, but if not, y'all, jump on there. And I'm not familiar with Substack. Are you, Doug?
Yeah, I have some things to talk about with Substack after we log off, but yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. That sounds ominous.
So, Jen,
it could be.
Doug and I have a few things to talk about here, but we would love to talk to you after we hit end if you want to stick around. But if not, we want to thank you for coming on. And sorry we missed you last week, but it was good to get you the whole 2 hours for this week, so that's good.
Yeah,
and we have to make it more than Yeah, we'll probably call you up before next Mother's Day to see. And if you have anything going on, let us know, please.
Okay.
If you have anything coming out, please let us know.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun to talk to you. My dog just came down here and pawed me. I think he has to go to the bathroom, and I hope somebody upstairs will take him, but they probably won't. So he's probably shitting right outside my door here. So I'm going to log off and go walk my dog. But thank you so much, y'all, for having me. I appreciate it. See you soon.
All right.
Cheers.
It was see you.
Take care, Jen. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent, Doug. So we will do Doug, we like to do this here.
Oh, you want me to go to first? All right, so I'm going to say this is a fucking tie for this because both of these were super excellent. This is the 0 Day Dark Lager, American Dark Lager, and then I had the Brown Head Belgian Dark Lager, Belgian Dark. Both of these were really, really good, really good, different tasting notes, but very good. But man, this dark mode barrel age thing was phenomenal. Like I said, this is 2.5 years old. So I have also a Death Star that's 2.5 years old. That when Daniel comes, before we head over to Barrel and Flow, he and I are going to share that one when he comes. So yeah, that was superb. So how about you, Greg? What you got?
All good ones. All from. Well, I don't know Roundhead. I was gonna say all from great breweries, so I don't know if I can categorize Roundhead as a great brewery. I can categorize Roundhead as a pretty good brewery, though, from the ones that we've had here, thanks to Daniel. This was the Peruvian Lager. Very nice. And then two of my favorite breweries out here, y'all, Black Stack and Brewery Nonic. I actually visited both recently. Got a double. Couldn't get any different here with these styles though. Black IPA or black lager, and then double dry hop IPA that I'm going to finish here, especially after. Yeah, Doug. So we had some. Unfortunately, we let Jen go before we could let this comment go. Pandemic was crazy as an academic advisor. Parents were trying to hide off camera. I can't with y'all. Y'all just wants people to take certain paths, not only the betterment of the people or for societies, not always to facts. Fruity Pebbles and Mountain Dew. Really,
hard pass. That is way too sweet.
Yeah, where's Manny to approve of that?
Manny would have to be the approval in that process.
He would approve. Anything with cereal, he's just going to approve. Frosty Flakes and beer.
That I could see might work. Maybe working. It sounds a little gross, but it might work.
What's not gross and mostly works is
Mortal Content. So
what you got, Doug?
The Mortal Content we just had last Tuesday. We had that, and it was you, me, and Amani Powell. And we talked about your new podcast called Soundscape, and we talked about the fact that we were going over Maxwell. Maxwell was just fun. That was a great fucking time. I am fucking Daniel, techno music, Mortal Content. So yes, that was super fun. I am looking forward to it. I am working on what next month is. But man, please go out to Mortal Content on YouTube and just go and check that out. You will not be disappointed because we had such a fun time with talking about Soundscape and Maxwell and a bunch of other music. Soundscape is the podcast. Look for it on Spotify.
Yeah, it's a Spotify exclusive for now, but I'm gonna get it on goofy ass iTunes once I get there. It's if it were that easy, it would be there already. These Apple people want you to jump through literally 7,000 hoops, in my opinion. So I'm through hoop 5 or something. I'll get to the other 15 here, but until then, you can go to Spotify to catch Rage Against the Machine and Maxwell. You can get 2 different sounds and or artists, and also a review of my wonderful experience at Kendrick's tour. It's on Soundscape via Spotify. And last and certainly not least, Doug, we have this one. What happened recently with this one?
Yeah, so recently we did. Fuck, now you're taxing my brain because I can't remember.
Some fucking weird, awful cult. No, Doug, it was the cult that it was the weight loss cult. Remember?
Oh yeah, the Way Down. That was really weird, of course, because they're all weird. But the Way Down was basically this cult that was like tying together Jesus and weight loss. And also, it was the part of just being rich, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's nuts. We're going to do one next month called AUM, which that is one neither Renee or I have ever heard of. Basically, it started out as a yoga collective and turned into a cult that was like basically making their own nerve gas and stuff. So, like, I'm not sure how that's going to go. So that's going to be strange and interesting. So yeah, that'll be next.
Yeah. And we're in the second full year of the cult bar.
Yeah, we are actually into the third year of the cult bar because we just
third year of the cult bar.
Volume 28, so volume 29 will be that. So yeah,
and you could see y'all. Well, that part that's nuts, but it's also nuts that y'all are getting into some of these really weird ones. Not that they're not weird, but like some of these ones that people don't know about. So if y'all are interested in the cults, this is the place to be, because Doug and Renee are absolutely positively dedicated to digging into every cult that they can find. And it just seems like there's this endless cults out there, which is wild. Yeah, is on that note, y'all, I'm pretty sure, because Doug approved on air here, we're going to be Discord only next week. So we won't probably even come out to YouTube. We probably won't even use this interface. We'll probably just stay in Discord. So we won't have anything spectacular for you. And then the week after, Doug, I will be in Milwaukee for Lager and Friends, which is my first beer collab ever. Yay. And Doug, you will have who in the house?
Yeah, so we're going to have the Wine Concierge, who is also the person who is distributing Libco beers. It is a Black-owned business that is focused on distributing wines and beers and spirits of Black-owned businesses. So we're doing that. I'm working on a co-host now. We do not have that formalized, but man, I am looking forward to that because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and we're going to have some event before Lager and Friends, so I definitely will not be able to attend that, but we will and when we do Discord only, we want y'all to come up and talk, and we'll the music will return to next week, 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. We will have a curated list. Doug, maybe I'll give Doug, not give Doug, but maybe Doug will do the whole thing, and y'all can look forward to some 80s craziness mixed in there. But yeah, man, we don't want to forget our our Discord family. Y'all were there for us when we bailed off of YouTube the last time, and yeah, we still have the right to just go Discord only when we want, and next week we'll do that. I don't think we'll have a guest, but maybe we will. But the guest will be y'all. Y'all will be able to come up, talk to us. We'll have goofy topics. We'll probably keep it a little thin like we are doing now. Well, we're still doing 2 hours. I was trying to get out of here earlier, but good guests and good content. You got to keep going. So, Doug, any last words before we hit the end stream button here?
No, just thanks to Jen for popping on and just lending her fucking humor because she's funny as fuck and just yeah. So we always have a good time with her on. We need to have her on more often. So we'll be doing that.
Yep. So on that note, we'll see y'all next week on Discord. Doug, have a great week.
You too, sir.
Have a great week.
Love you, man. Take care.
Yeah, and this time we're gonna get our ending credits, right? Unlike the more the content.
Hopefully so.
I think I got it. I could be wrong.
All right.